Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jamie Allen Black, CEO of the Jewish Women's Foundation of New York. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our monthly Crown Jewel Conversation series, where you get to learn from and interact with our grantee partners. We call them Jewels, Jewish entrepreneurial women, executives, and leaders, women who are leading nonprofits addressing today's most pressing issues around the world in the Jewish community and beyond. To ensure these calls are accessible to everyone, we have closed captioning available for this session. To enable the closed captions, please click the three dots that say More on the bottom right of your screen, and then click on Closed Captions. For those of you who don't know us so well, and as a reminder for those who do, JWFNY has granted more than $6 million to over 300 programs to address intractable problems around the world. That nearly 25 years of experience in grant making has led to the work we're doing today, supporting visionary Jewish women social entrepreneurs and leaders. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the horrific example of non-democracy from yesterday. Commentator Van Jones asked, "Is this the beginning of something, or is it the end of something?" And that reminded me that very often when things are terrible, they get worse before they get better, breakdown before breakthrough. I think this is both the end and the beginning. The end is the death throes of the current administration, and the beginning is the opportunity to come together around shared values, to ensure all voices are heard, and to think about our own complicity in the State of the Union at this very moment. Because that's how women lead. We think about the whole. Who is affected? How are they affected? What can I as a leader do to make things better? Not just to benefit me, but to create a world where we come from hope in the future, opportunity for all, especially the historically marginalized, and the knowledge that leadership truly makes a difference. Women's leadership makes a difference. We provide leadership acknowledgement and advancement here. We're introducing you to cutting-edge feminist leaders. These women are the leaders we need right now, and we're proud to elevate their voices. The Jewish Women's Foundation of New York is where women's leadership matters. Our conversation today is with Dr. Mazal Shaul, Executive Director of WePower, a nonpartisan NGO which promotes and trains women for public and political leadership positions and raises awareness of the gender gap and leading legislation on gender equality issues in Israel. Mazal works tirelessly to ensure Israel is a strong democracy by the people, for the people, all the people. She's the perfect guest for us today. We offer these sessions at no cost to you, but if you find value in what we're doing, we hope you'll consider two donations, one to WePower directly so Mazal can continue her invaluable work, and then please consider matching that donation with one to JWFNY. We are the only organization providing these visionary, innovative, entrepreneurial leaders with a platform to broaden and deepen their base of knowledge and support. We'll put all the links in the chat and in your follow-up email tomorrow. During the session, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. We'll do our best to get to all of them. We've muted everyone to avoid background noise, so the chat feature is the best way to make sure your message is seen. And now I am thrilled to introduce my partner, the president of the Jewish Women's Foundation of New York, Rachel Weinstein.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you for that beautiful framing for our conversation today. As you said, we couldn't have a more perfect guest, and who would have known? Mazal, so happy to see you and to sit with you today. So thank you so much for being with us. You know, as someone who has safeguarded her life's work toward, safeguarding democracy, and that's been where you've been coming. What did you think? What is your reaction to what is going on here in the U.S. and particularly what happened at the Capitol yesterday?
I think that, well, first of all, we woke up to those news in the morning. I didn't even know because I really went very early yesterday to sleep. And then we heard all this mess. And I think that this is something, we spoke about it when we prepared for this conversation, about the frightens that we have from the danger to democracy. just 3 weeks ago, we were in the middle in a situation that we weren't sure that we are going to election, to another fourth system of election, the fourth circle actually. And there was one night that it was kind of clear that they are going to do some internal agreement between Bibi Netanyahu and Benny Gantz, and the law allowed them to do that. And this was something that I was very disturbed from. And I really felt it, it's kind of what we have now. People are on the streets, even though the pandemic, people are criticizing the government. They are going out to the streets. They don't care. The only thing that they care is themselves, because we feel as citizens that we are not heard. We are not heard. 80,000 businesses were closed. Small business were closed during this year. People don't get money or getting, I will give you it in numbers just to understand that the family here, 2 people in the family maybe got 10,000 shekel, which is less than $3,000 for all the period I'm talking, for all this year. So people cannot live from this, and the poverty is increasing, and more than 65 women, the population that was most hurt from this pandemic situation are more than 65% were women that lost their job, or even could not hold their job because they need to be with the kids at home, and still the women stays with the kids. This is exactly what we are speaking about. There isn't gender equality, not in Israel, and I believe that not in the world, or maybe in some of the countries there is not still a gender equality, and most of the work is on most of the price is paid by women. So I think that months ago, when there were the election in USA, we were afraid that something like this. I think that we spoke, and I spoke with several people from the Jewish Women Foundation of New York and other friends that I have in USA that said that it can happen, such that he will not lose, he will not lose and go. And this is the danger to democracy. I think that when the value, I heard this his interview, when he's saying we were stalled, the election were stalled. When you are saying it as a leader, what is the message that you are giving to the people? When Bibi, and that we are a non-partisan NGO, but we cannot ignore for what is going on in Israel. The trial that Bibi is trying all the time to postpone, and things like this. That this is really dangerous for Israel, for USA, for democracy all over the world. And when the leaders lose their value, I think this is the real dangerous to democracy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that we can find parallels all around the world, which I think have been exacerbated in this moment of pandemic. Like you said, it's sort of this perfect storm that whatever was before, it's just been elevated to this other level. Yeah. But obviously the work that you've been doing has been going on long before all of this, and is really focused on the gender gap in Israeli politics. So can you give us a bit of the landscape? Can you share with us a bit of, how are women currently represented in the government, both on the national level and the local level?
Sure, with pleasure. Well, so first of all, I will give an overview that WePower, this is exactly what she's doing for the last 20 years. WePower was founded by Michal Yudin, which lately was elected, was changed from being our chairwoman to our president and the founder. And we have a new, this is opportunity to say that we have a new chairwoman that is called Odelia Friedman, and we will give you some details. I will send you details about her. And for the 20 years, what we are doing legislation, we are doing advocacy, we are doing a lot of raising awareness around the gender gap. And the matter of raising the awareness is very critical. This is something that maybe I will elaborate a little bit later. And what our daily work is to allocate women and to train them for politics, because we know from researches that we did that the gaps that women have is, first of all, knowledge. Second thing is the networking, that they don't know how to use their network. Support, this is something very special. This is something that women need when they go to politics. They need to have their support surroundings and inspiration. So those four things, this is how we are going. This is what is the knowledge that we are giving for women. We are giving knowledge on politics, on gender, and especially on gender, because what we see is that many women comes to the politics, but they forget their role as women, what they need to do for other women, how they need to open the roads for other women to go to politics. So what we see from the women that pass through our program, that they understand. You know, even me, that I was a council member for more than 10 years, when I came to WePower, I think it was the first time when I understood my role as woman. I mean, I was a council member, I was in a managerial position. I never really suffered from gender inequality. I mean, I didn't suffer from it because I didn't have problem to get the salary that I wanted. I was always in managerial position. So I didn't really understood what is my role as a public woman, as a public person, and as a woman for other women. So the program that we run not only give the women, the programs we are giving the tools how to run for office, how to manage with the politics, how to build up their electoral power. Except for that, they have this supporting group. And except for that, they also get the terms of gender equality.
And how many women, are currently in the Knesset, and what percentage of, sort of the local governments would you say are run by women? And have you seen a shift over the years that you've been with WePower?
I will tell you. So first of all, in 2013, on 2018, when we finished the election, the current situation is that we have 70.7% of women council member all over Israel. Okay, this is a nice number. I'm not saying it is a bad, but it's very, very little. And what is especially to say that we have 78 municipalities out of 255, which is a huge number, that we don't have women at all. And I'm not speaking only on municipalities that are religious municipalities or Arabic municipalities. We also have in regular Jewish municipalities, we don't have any women at all. And 50% of all the municipalities in Israel have maybe one woman or two women. Now, you need to understand, when we have municipality with one or two women out of 11, out of 20, sometimes out of 30, out of 30 council members, there it's kind of like zero. She is totally alone around the decision table. And in terms of mayors, we have only 5% mayors, women mayors all over Israel. And in the Knesset, from the Knesset number 20 to Knesset number 23, the current Knesset, we got down from 35% to 28.8, and 28 is just because we have very large government. If we didn't have this very large government that was built by Benjamin Netanyahu, probably it was only 24. So the gender gap is really big, and I'm speaking only on the government and on the municipalities. Now we need to talk about also civil organization. Okay, civil organization like the community centers, the religious councils, and there the situation is even worse. What I can say, and this is very important for me to say, that one of the biggest change, the change maker, let's say, that was really significant, and we saw it in 2018, was a legislation that WePower was responsible on. And the legislation said that each party in the municipality that will enter to the municipality 30% women will be given 15% of a larger money from other parties. And this was a game changer. What we saw is that many parties put at least one woman at the beginning of their list. And this is why what we see now is that we have more women VP, more women ran during 2000. If I compare 2018 to 2013, we doubled the number that ran for office and were head of the parties, which is very, and this is a part of it is the work that we did. 70 women, out of them 20 women from them were graduates of a WePower program. So the situation I would say is that we see that there is a flow. Okay, there is, some hope that we see that some changes within the years, but the numbers are really far from being satisfied, especially mayors. So in 2018, what we did, we ran we built EDO coalition with the Ebert Foundation and with DAFNA Foundation. And with 25 organizations, we did a lot of field work, a lot of lobbying, a lot of conferences. We met women from the north to the south, and encouraging them to go and run for offices. And we saw this work was very significant. But what we understood is that eventually we rose from 14% to 17%, from 2% to 5%, and we need to accelerate the process. So we started to work with the religious society. We started to work with Arabic. We are building and we are thinking now of a program that we are going to map all the municipalities over Israel and to allocate, like in the Pinzetta, with the Pinzet, women that we think are potential, and we are going to invest programs in them. And we are doing programs with the Interior Ministry. We did a program for a council member, first cadention council member, and we gave them knowledge, and it was really significant work that we did with them. And all this collaboration with other organizations, the mapping, the networking, we built a networking of women in the South. We are doing all of it because we want to work with big numbers. We understood that we need to work with big numbers, a lot of women, as much as women as we can, and to train them. And I can say that this is, as Jamie mentioned, that there are women here from all over USA. This is the same. Even that Israel is small, really small relative to USA, but still to bring someone from Kiryat Shmona to Tel Aviv for a college for politics, she's not coming. She doesn't have the time. It takes her more than 4 hours to get to the center. So the Zoom and the online allowed us to reach much more women than what we planned. And this is something that I actually going to provide to keep during even to 2021 and even 2022, because even the program that we did, the College for Politics for Council member, there were almost 80 women online in the program. And again, I think this is the readiness and the easiness that the people can get into the program. It's very easy, so it helped us a lot.
Yeah, it is one of the silver linings that Zoom has sort of taken away that barrier to access, and I can certainly see where that would be an advantage in your work. Very interested to hear about the law that you passed providing financial incentives to parties if they have women represented within them. Was that difficult to get passed? I mean,
wow, very, very difficult. And just yesterday, I had a conversation in the Committee of Women Advance in the Knesset, and we spoke about it in terms of the parties in the Knesset, because the law that we succeeded to pass was only for the municipalities. And we had a discussion on how to advance the same law for the Knesset and the parties. And to add to the picture of the gender gap that we have in Israel, what is important, and we need to understand that what is important is not only that there will be 50% women, for example, in the list. If they are not in realistic places, it doesn't mean anything. So it was very hard because you know that in Israel there are 3 parties, religious party, that exclude women out of their list. Shas, Aguda, and another party which I don't remember the name, but there are 3 parties that exclude totally women, and they didn't agree to the law. They were the problem that they were the most difficult to pass this law, because you cannot have women. Women are not appropriate to be leaders in their terms. So it was very difficult, and it was done and succeeded because we had a collaboration between many women from many parties, from all the parties, and a lot of organizations that were partners of us. And another law that we passed was that there should be the law of 30% in the public and kind of NGOs, and also 30% in religious councils. And since 1995, we now see that in most of the public organization, municipal organization, public municipal organization, there are more than even 50%. And this is all due to the law. So this is a argue that I have, many people argue on it. Do we need laws? I'm saying yes, we still need laws, because politics is built by men, run by men. Most of this is a very patriarchal environment, and still we need the law. And in most of the countries that are in the head and they are leading in terms of their gender in the gender gap index, they have laws. In Slovenia, for example, party that is not presenting 50% women, it's not considered even. They cannot give the list if they don't have 50% women. So yes, I would like in the utopic world I was interviewed in one of our in one of our television program yesterday morning. And he says, you know, then everyone will now ask for a law for representative of Arab, of LATAB, of gender, transgenders. And I said, you know, in a utopic world, I would like that parties will have representative of all the societies. And yes, if they want, I will support with those laws, because I think that gender equality is not only gender equality, it is society equality. And this is the important thing to mention.
Yeah. It's so well said, so well said. And sometimes these environments are not naturally conducive because they've been set up by a very narrow group of people. And to be able to make change, we have to make it into law, 100%. Tell me,
and you know that in our constitution, in the Israeli constitution, there is a sentence that's saying a government that is willing for social equality, no matters race, gender, or religion. This is one thing. And there is another law that is called the rights, the equal rights of women. There is a law from 1995. And until now, and you know, when a party is representing a list without women at all, and they exclude women, they are actually passing the law, the Israeli law. And we spoke with the law people from the government and said we cannot do anything. Women can run their own party. No, they don't want to run their own party. They want to be represented in their own religious, you know, a religious woman will not put the vote for non-religious party. This is, you know, this is our culture.
right.
So, and there is nothing, you know, there is nothing in terms of the religion that that prevent them from being leaders. It's nothing religious in that. So.
Tell me, how do you identify women leaders? And are you working with all different constituencies, you know, different religious denominations? Are you working with Arabs as well as Jews? How are you seeking out the women that you're working with?
So most of our work is done with the local municipality. We are speaking with the advisor to women issues in the municipality, along with the mayor himself. And we work with, actually, I will say 3 levels of women. First of all, we work, for example, with religious, Arab, Ethiopian, low social society women. And there we are doing, we are locating all the women we are locating with the help of this advisor. She is actually allocating the women. And there we are doing Your Voice Matter program. Your Voice Matter program is a program that we actually give the soft skills of leadership. We are speaking, of course, on gender, and we are speaking a little bit about politics, but we still understand that those women are not ready for politics yet. So we are kind of enhancing them to be involved in social activism, in community activism, and from there we are open to build a political leadership. The second level is future of leadership. And this program is actually a program where we speak about 2 legs. The first leg is gender, all the matters of all the terms of gender, sisterhood, iron seal, glass ceiling, you know, all the terms of gender. And the second is on the local municipality. The women that we are allocating for those programs are actually women that are already involved in the kindergarten, committee, in the parenthood committee, that they are social active in the municipality for different issues. And what we want from them, actually, what we are building is that we know that 25% of each program, this is the percentages of women that go to politics and move on with us to the next level. The next level is the College for Politics. The College for Politics is national, and in the College for Politics, we give all the tools and we escort them, and we are teaching them how to run. So this is how we allocate them. The people, I would say, it can be, for Voice of Matter, it will be any women. And for the political program, we will look for women that are already involved somehow in the political environment, and they are doing politics, but they don't call themselves politics. So we are kind of friending them with the world of politics.
Helping them to recognize their skills that they might not even label
Yes.
in that way. That's well, so it's an interesting segue because, you know, your background is in science and specifically chemistry, right? You have a PhD in supramolecular chemistry. I can barely even pronounce it, which is so impressive. So how did you get here? You know, what led you to this career shift?
Well, this is a very interesting story, I think. I got married. I will tell you all my secrets. My secrets are that I was going out with my husband for 3.5 years. And the age of 18, I got married, and I started to learn chemistry. Actually, I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't get into the program of being a doctor. So I went to chemistry, and I said, okay, after 1 year, I will change and I will go to the doctor. But I fell in love in chemistry, and I continued. I did my first degree, my second degree, my third degree. And at the age of 29, I was actually having 6 children, 3 PhD and 3 children. And I was a total mess because I just crashed down, something like that. I crashed down totally. And I understood that something is wrong. You know, I felt that something inside, more spiritual, more emotional, is wrong. And what I did in the age of 29, I just started to volunteer. And very naturally, when you have 3 kids, you are volunteering in the kindergarten. Very quickly, I found myself the head of the kindergarten committee and the head of the parenthood committee. And then I became the chairwoman of the Central Community Center here in Azov. And in 2008, I understood that if I really want to influence on the policy of my municipality, I need to be in politics. And I ran for office first time with the mayor, the current mayor. I ran with him 2 cadences. And within the years, within building up a lot of community groups here in Azov, I understood that this is what I wanted to do. And I went and studied the coaching and the group moderating, and left. Actually, very, very quickly, I felt that I cannot do both things together. And I left the chemistry world. And as I said in the event that we had 2 years ago already, right? In the Jewish Women Foundation of New York, I said that I went from chemistry between molecules to materials to chemistry between people. And I just built up programs and reached out to WePower. I arrived to WePower actually to moderate a group. And very quickly, they asked me to become the CEO. And the rest is history. And I am very happy with this change. I think that during the last 20 years of chemistry, in parallel to social activism, public activism actually and political activism. I've been inspiration in a very modest way. I will say that I think I am and I was an inspiration to other women to run. And this is very exciting for me to know that just by doing what I'm doing, just by running myself to office, I feel that only this gives other women power to do that. And if a woman is calling me and she's advising me what she can do now with the political parties and where she can run, and she's asking for, and she said, you know, just your talk, what you said in 5 minutes just gave me the road and I know what to do, then I can pass.
Well, you are certainly an inspiration to us, and you know, you not only talk the talk, you walk the walk, and you are not only encouraging others, but as you said, you're stepping into those places yourself, and not only on the municipal level, right? You've also done so on the national level. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. In the last round. For the Knesset 23, I was very mad. Actually, when I do something, it's always because I'm mad on something. Something is making me crazy and I'm saying, okay, I need to do something with that. I cannot just only complain. I need to do something with that. So what I did is that I built up and established the Voice of Women Party, only women. We really knew that it is very hard to get into the Knesset with the running of 4 months. We didn't have any area, we didn't have groups all over Israel, but we were the only party that a woman was head of the party, only party. We got the most larger number of votes from the new parties. And what was important for me, that the subject of women in politics was on the table. I was interviewed in all the radio, television, newsletter, you know, the subject was on the table. And this is what was important for me to say, we are not waiting for you to give us place in your list. We are taking the place. And there is a movement also now. You know, just today I just put a Facebook post on Facebook on that last year I established a party, and today 5 of my friends are running into another party, not in the Voice of Women party, but joined other parties. And for me, this is a huge achievement, that people are having the courage now to go into this world, which is really, really tough.
Well, you're paving the way and you're showing them that it's possible. So I'm sure that was a huge inspiration, and I hope that the gender gap only continues to decrease in that kind of way. I know we're coming sort of toward the end, and I want to integrate a couple questions that we've had from some of our listeners. One is, how have other women Knesset members been in relationship to WePower and the work that you're doing? Do they support the work that you're doing? Do you engage with them, you know, current or past? Are they involved with you?
Yes, so we are working with all the women Knesset member in the parliament, and they are coming to our program as inspiration and model to other women. And all the legislation cannot be done without the connection to parliament member, because we cannot do it from outside. So we always do collaboration with other Knesset members, with all the Knesset members actually. And most of the laws that were passed very easily, relatively easy, were when we had the coalition of several women from several parties. and then they do their lobbying in each party. So this is how actually we could pass the law, because there were a coalition of Knesset member, and of course that we are working with everyone.
Stronger together, right?
Yes.
And also, I think our listeners are sort of curious. I know it's a little off to the side of the topic, but how can we miss it in this moment? You know, about the pandemic in Israel. I mean, obviously, your degree in chemistry. I don't know if you've been involved at all, but maybe you could just give us a little bit of a brief on where things are in Israel, and with the vaccine and in general. I know you mentioned tonight things are about to change.
Yes. So first of all, I will say that you probably see it in the CNN as I see it in Israeli news, that we are first in the world in terms of number of injections that the vaccine and people that were already got the injection. So we are getting into 2 million already. And in this term, this is very positive. From other end, I will say that we are in a close down since tonight until the next 2 weeks, and very strong one with a lot of policemen that will be in the roads, and they will, because of, I will say, I can tell you that the lockdown started 3 weeks ago, but nobody listened. And nobody listened because there is no belief in the current government, because everyone is really sick, and we are getting one message, and after 2 hours there is another message, and after 3, it's not handled, it's not managed. It's kind of, the pandemic is managing the government instead of other way around. And the people do not believe. So today they are going to do another close down, and but there will be easier attitude to the religious people in Israel. So there is one law to one society and another law to other society. So it's total mess. That's what I can tell you. And it was clear.
Sound democratic, right?
Yes, it was very clear to everyone, even me, that you cannot open the schools again. It cannot open. You cannot open. It was clear that you can open it, but you need to do it very smart and with groups and small groups and everything. And the really in Israel is not so organized. So that's what I can say about the pandemic here. And we hope that after more vaccines and more injections and more people that will be getting the injection, that it will be better. But now we have 70,500 people sick every new sick people every night, which is a large number, a huge number actually.
Yeah. Well, we're all hoping that we see that we're closer to the end of the tunnel than the way that we've come through. So
I hope so too.
Mazal, tell us, we always like to ask our Jules, how has being part of the Jewish Women Foundation Collective, how has it impacted your leadership? What has it given to you?
Well, I know that when I want to share with you the first time when I got I submitted I submitted myself and WePower to the program, and it was very exciting for me to be on the first collective cohort out of so many women, one person out of 10 out of 80 women that were submitted their position for that, because it for me it was a huge acknowledgement for the work that WePower is doing and I'm doing. So first of all, it is, it's proud, it's exciting. It felt for me that yes, something that you are doing is very, very good. And this is very important when you work like, very hard and with a very small amount of manpower, women power in our NGO. So it was very significant in this term, first of all. Second, the inspiration, the tools, the team, the money support, of course, we cannot skip on that. Due to the program, I went to another program that is called Shakti Leadership, and this I think was wow. I mean, it was a 9-month. In parallel to the collective, actually, I went to the 9 months of Shakti Leadership, which is a special, very spiritual, holistic point of view on our leader, the feminine and the masculine leadership that is in each one of us. And I think this is a huge step that was done for me. I think that I couldn't run for office without that. I couldn't lead, and be so innovative and so without the support of Jewish Women Foundation of New York in this program. And the group that was built, the 10 Jewels, and teaching and learning from other women. And even in the pandemic, the small discussion that we had, even it was out of the program already, meeting, sharing, the feeling that you are not alone, because a leader, most of the time, especially this is what I felt when I ran for office in the municipality, and when I ran for office in the national level, I felt very alone. Very alone. You are alone. You are pushing you are pushing and you are holding everyone and you are keeping all the connection and you are cooking the wheel to move on. And the collective give me the feeling that I'm not alone in this process.
Well, we're very honored to be in community with you as well. So the feeling is mutual. I know our time is waning, so I have really just one last question for you, which is, what are your hopes for the 2023 election in Israel?
Well, as an optimistic person, I really, really hope that in terms of mayor position, that we will at least go to 15%, which is 3 times more than what we have now. We have 5%. And I really hope that we will be able to increase it to 15. This is why I'm going to build a special program only for women that are going to run for the mayor position. And it will be a very high-class program, because those women that already have experience, they need another sort of program from us. And in terms of the council member, I really hope that we will get to 40%, that we will double also the numbers. But this requires, I will tell you, this requires collaboration, support of the government, a lot of money, of course, because we cannot do it without money. This is a huge operation to do it in all over Israel. And but this is the hope, because otherwise it will come only in 100 years from now, and this is too much to wait.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We continue to look forward to watching you and your work, and you're such an inspiration to all of us. Thank you again for sharing your story with us today.
I would like to share with you, maybe here I will put in the chat, the online flip builder. This is actually a notebook with a lot of on WePower, summarizes all the activity that we have done through the years. And as you suggested with modesty, I will put here also the link to contribution if possible. This is the PF link of WePower.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazal. Thank you, Rachel. Woo! These Jewel conversations go so fast, and there's just so much that we learn. Mazal, thank you for taking the time to share your wisdom and your story, and thank you always, Rachel, for leading us through this conversation. Mazal, it was so great how you shared how you focus your anger and that keeps you going, and how you lead through collaboration, which is another example of how women typically lead. And of course, we all agree that gender equity is actually equity for the entire society. So we're right with you there. And also, you're expressing how leaders feel alone. And you're definitely not alone here. And I'm glad that you feel that. We're thrilled to be in partnership with you in this great work. We always like to leave our guests, our audience, you're a guest, Mazal, but our audience with a few actions that they can take. So yes, directly support WePower to help ensure Israel has women whose voices are not only heard, but they are leading. Tomorrow, everyone will receive the link to connect with WePower on social media and the link to make a donation. WePower shares information about policies and issues impacting women and Israel around the world. We hope we'll see you at our next Crown Jewel conversation with Tanya Layden, co-founder and executive director of Livelihoods. Tanya creates jobs for women and children in Kenyan slums, where up to 70% of youth have no income. She's also one of the smartest women I have ever met. So you should come, mark your calendars for noon on Thursday, February 4th, and invite other great women to join you. We'll send you a link to register tomorrow. Again, thank you to Mazal and to Rachel and all of you for being with us. We'll see you next week, and have a good afternoon. Try to step away from the news for a bit. Here's to a happy and healthy 2021, and please wear your masks. Thank you.